Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to The Sims 4. We're doing a room build. I've been kind of in a room build kind of mood lately, so that's probably what's going to be going up on the channel for a little while, because I've got a couple houses in progress and they're both kind of kicking my tail, and I had one project that was a big project. It went south, it got deleted, and then I lost 2 builds. And I know what you're thinking, Amanda, you gotta back up your footage. And yes, I should. But this wasn't that. I hit record, I watched it record, I did the build, I went to hit stop record, I hit stop record, and I watched those files disappear like that. I don't know where in there I should have backed them up, but they's gone. It's like I didn't bother to hit record at all, so I gotta figure that out. The point I'm making is I've been feeling a little bit less inclined to build, which is frustrating because I have a lot of ideas and a lot of things I want to be building right now, but I'm kind of in one of those I want to do the thing, but I don't want to engage with the thing. I've been doing a lot of room builds, but this build with the longest introduction ever, this room build, this little nursery made me so happy. It brought me so much joy, which is fantastic because I happened to build it on a lunch break on a day when work was not bringing me a lot of joy. Work has not been bringing me a whole lot of joy right now, because I work sort of in the news sector, and at the time of recording this, some very, very warish things have been happening, and that's all I'll say on that. But it's just, humans could be so much nicer to each other, but this little room turned out way better than I expected it to, and it brought me so much joy. It's kind of a foresty, jungly themed room. It wasn't so I've been wanting to do a children / toddler, infant, something like that room in sort of a jungly, foresty theme for a while, because I grew up in the Pacific Northwest, and all of our libraries and all of our zoos and stuff all had that very sort of timber, temperate rainforest feel. And so that to me very much is synonymous with kid stuff, right? Because all of the kid-friendly spaces had that strong sort of we're outside with nature in the rainforest kind of vibes. And I've been really wanting to do that, but it's very I hadn't really worked out how to do it in The Sims, and that actually wasn't the intention with this room. I had sat down with the intention to make a little country nursery, very much a horse ranch nursery, which I still intend to do. But then I saw this green swatch in the bedding, and I was like, oh, that's real pretty. And then that chair was real nice, but that wasn't the right green for what I wanted. And it sort of kind of snowballed into this oh, hey, we could do this, and then there's these trees, and then I was like, wait, maybe this could work, and it turned out pretty cool. It makes me want to do sort of a not matching, but a similar kids room. I also like that this nursery is quite small. I've been building on a bigger scale in my room builds lately, and I like that because, a room doesn't have to be tiny. I tend to build my houses kind of tiny, but bigger rooms are not super easy to slot into houses, and there's nothing wrong with that. A lot of people look at room builds just for inspiration. That tends to be what I do. I very rarely take a room and slot it into my house, but I'll look at it and be like, that idea is cool, that idea is cool, I could shrink that down and do that idea, that kind of thing. Especially on Instagram, there's so many talented people on Instagram, but I've been trying to build on a smaller scale so that you could potentially take this room and slot it into a house without it being a giant issue. And this one I think turned out really good. It's 4x4 or 5x5. I think it's 4x4. Yeah, I believe it's 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 4x4, which means that's 16 tiles. So it wouldn't be super conducive to a tiny house. But to be honest with you, if you're dealing with an infant, you're probably past the tiny house stage. Although this wouldn't probably fit terribly in it would be a tiny home. Because what is it? It's micro. Is it micro, mini, and tiny? Is that the 3 designations? It's 16, 64, and 100 or something like that, right? I cannot remember now offhand. So this room could maybe fit in a 64 tile or a 100 tile. So you could still get some tiny house benefits, and a little bit bigger space. It could be Families First Starter Home or something like that. Or it could slot into a giant home too. You could literally pull the walls apart too and just make it a little bit bigger if you wanted something more grand. But this room feels incredibly cozy, and it makes me very happy, and it made me really want to go back and do some family gameplay again, because I'm kind of going through a phase where I haven't done a lot of like super family gameplay lately. I've got a chef sim going on right now, because at the time of recording this, Home Chef Hustle, is that what it's called, I believe, just came out, which you'll be seeing that the videos shortly. I'm late. I'm always late because of the buffer I have to build for myself, because my recording schedule isn't a schedule. It's just I throw a dart and occasionally get to do things. I'm hoping to fix that in 2024. That's one of my goals. But regardless, by the time you see those things, it will have been out for a while. But I've been playing with a chef sim, and she's like, I'm gonna send her all the way through the culinary career, I think, and then have her open a booth with like the proceeds. I think it's kind of the plan. But my point is I haven't been playing with a family very much, and so I think maybe after we've kind of run our course with all of the fun chef stuff, I might be like, hey, you ready to continue to be a cool chef, but let's go find somebody and have a family. I also have a horse-based sim I need to do that with, but I always intended to have a family. She's just the sim I made when Horse Ranch came out, because that pack is so fun, which is what was, like I said, going to originally inspire this room, but then it turned out super jungly. I don't know why I didn't know that there was a single version of those birch trees, which made it so much easier to layer them and make them look slightly different. It's not perfect. I mean, you can see the repetition there, but it helped quite a bit, and made that wall really, really nice. And I love that tree from growing together with the owls in it. I decided to stick owls in another place too, somewhere on the bookshelf, I believe, and I need to double check thinking about it now. I can't remember if I checked or not. They might be slightly poking through the roof. If they are, I will size that down before this goes up on the gallery. Having said that, it's no big rush because I am super behind on gallery again. I don't know. I keep going back and forth as to whether or not I should start from the newer stuff and then do the backlog, or if I should go like chronologically. I'll get better at posting on the gallery eventually. I'd like to get it all off the backlog. So what happened is for a long time on this channel, I didn't actually have internet at home, so I would record, stick everything on a thumb drive, drive into town, upload everything, drive home. So the gallery just simply was not feasible to me because I couldn't drag my entire setup, and I wasn't gonna like put Sims 4 on a thumb drive. Like, it simply wasn't going to work. And so I got like a year behind, and I finally got internet, and it just became one of those things where I was like, I don't want to deal with this. And then now we're here. Now we're here. And it's turned into a big old bugaboo, but I'm kind of going through a phase right now. I'm like, I just want to clean everything up, like in general, and get it to a much, like, make my life easier by doing the hard stuff, if that makes sense. So maybe that'll end up on the list of like, this will be hard right now, but it'll be easier in the long run. I don't know. I also kind of want to get on it before I get too serious about some other things, because like I have other games I want to do on the channel, and so, which I've done a couple at the time of recording this, and so I want to like, before I get into making, like, trying to do like multiple videos a week and stuff, I want to streamline some of the processes. Having said that, I don't know if multiple videos a week all the time is going to work, because, for example, I just recorded 18 weeks worth of footage. I was really excited about it. I had done all the research I had thought, and it was going really well. I was really excited about it. And then I actually went and uploaded the first few to YouTube and had them scheduled to go out. And YouTube was like, yo, did you check copyright law on this? And I was like, yeah, I did. And they were like, no, you didn't. Every single one of these has a copyright issue. And I was like, no. So the thing that I had recorded to play, which I'm not gonna name because I don't want to be mean to anybody. Not that you guys would be mean, but I don't want to be mean to anybody. That's not what we're here for. On their site, it says, feel free to record our stuff. And somewhere along the lines, that got goofy because YouTube has it in their head that should not be happening. So that sort of broke my heart a little bit, but it's cool. We're reestablishing, and it's forcing me to change the way I record a little bit too, so that I can separate out different audio tracks and stuff. I don't know how to do that yet, but I'm gonna learn. So it's good in the long run. It's also forcing me to take a break from the multiple week thing, which is good because, like I said, I'm running a little out of control. So in general, I don't know how I do this on these builds, guys. I start talking about the build and then it just turns into a podcast. I don't know how to stay on topic to save my life. Anyways, So yeah, this little room ended up being kind of foresty, kind of almost jungly, but not quite. I think like the greens are a little bit more jungly than foresty, but I'm kind of over emerald green. Growing up in the Pacific Northwest, everything was emerald green and gray. And look, I love both of those colors, but I don't love them in excess. And I feel like the first like 21 years of my life featured a lot of emerald green and gray. The buildings are emerald green and gray, the sports teams are emerald green and gray, although kind of not, but there's a lot of emerald green and some navy blues and gray. It's just a lot. So I tend to stay away from it. So it's kind of maybe a little bit more of like a jungly green. But when I put it on the ceilings, because of course we can paint ceilings now and it's amazing. But I tended to go a little bit more jungly in the green and a little bit more forest in the decorations, just because we don't have a lot of like jungle. Although I do think there's vines now that I'm thinking about it. So maybe in the kids' room I'll try to go a little bit more like jungly. But I love those birch trees, and I love that tree with the owls. Doing this room made me really, like, I had an idea not too terribly long ago to do like a kids museum, like do a museum lot, but really make it like a kids hangout space where like your parent Sims could take their kid Sims and their kid Sims could have fun and build skills and stuff. Because like some of my favorite places growing up were like the Children's Museum, the Pacific Science Center, those kind of things. And I'd love to have that for my Sims, because I think it would make playing with children's Sims a little bit more fun and exciting. So now I kind of want to do that too. I think it would be really cool, but that sounds like a kind of a bigger build, so that might be in the new year kind of build, because we've got holidays and stuff coming up. By the time you see this, we're probably like deep in the holiday season already, but I'm recording this at the beginning of October, so it's just the beginning of spooky season. I thought about doing a spooky build. I'll be honest with you, I'm kind of not, I don't have like an inspiration for a spooky build. It's probably not gonna happen. I have an idea for a set of Christmas videos, but I'm not entirely sure how to execute them, so we'll see what comes of that. But yeah, this room was much needed on the inspiration front. If you hear a lot of banging, Watson got down from my lap and has decided to rage clean his bed. This is a thing that he does when he feels like he's not getting enough attention. He had a big day today, went to the groomers, and had to go briefly to doggy daycare because the timing that I had set up didn't quite work with work. My schedule got changed at work, meeting wise, and so I called them and I was like, hey, can I drop them off a little bit early? So they got to go to doggy daycare and they were very excited. Joe loved it. Watson, I think, was stressed. But anyways, here is the screenshots. I love the way the wood wraps. I love the colors. I want to raise a little infant in this room. I think this would be especially really cute on a second story, maybe behind a forest, outside. The little kid that grows up in here hopefully would be so inspired, maybe like a wildlife warrior. But anyways, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and go. I have, I think, 3 more videos to try to fit into the next like little bit. So I got lots of work to do. Wish me luck. I hope you're having a great day and you're feeling loved. And please know that I love you. I'm glad you exist. I'm glad you're here hanging out. You make the world a better place just by being you. And I will see y'all tomorrow. Tomorrow? No, I'll see y'all next week. I'm losing it. Love y'all. Bye. Mwah.